Good morning, Raiders. This morning, we are going to talk about how to apply to college. There are 3 steps you need to complete when you're applying to college. You must fill out a completed application with payment. You must send a copy of your high school transcript or request that it be sent. And then finally, if the school requires it, you must also make sure that your SAT or ACT scores are sent directly from the testing service to the college or university that you're applying to. And we'll hit all of those 3 areas in a little more depth here in just a minute. But first, I want to show you resources and where you can find them. So we're going to start here at the SHS counseling course within Canvas. And we are going to click on our senior link. And if you recall from the previous video I recorded, I have broken out all the resources you need as seniors really into 3 areas: employment, enrollment, and enlistment. We're going to look at enrollment resources today because that's what we're doing. We're looking to enroll potentially in a college or university. I have already put some additional resources up on this page that you will want to refer to. There's a detailed video on how to create an account at the Common App. It's not terribly difficult. I've had students already this year do it successfully, but if you want a little more information, there is a good video for you. Also, I'm going to touch briefly on Parchment. That's not something I've mentioned before, but it is one way that you can order your transcripts, and there is a tutorial video on here on how to order your transcripts. So I think the best way to show you how to apply is to just walk you through it. So we're going to pick a test school here, and we are going to apply to Indiana University in Bloomington. So when you want to apply to a university, I said you need to fill out an application. You can either access that through the university's website. If you happen to be within Naviance, we'll see here in a minute, you can find that school, and there's also a link directly to that school's website within Naviance. But most students are probably going to Google it. So we're going to go here to Indiana University. You always want to go to the Admissions tab. That's your first point of contact at a university. And typically you're going to look for a link that says something like how to apply or apply now. Schools use different terminology. And you are all going to be freshmen next year. You're all applying as freshmen, even if you have taken dual credit classes in high school, which means you have some college courses. You're still entering as a freshman. Here at IU, they break it down for you, and this is not uncommon. They'll show you the steps to apply, which includes understanding their deadlines and their key admission standards and things like that. For our purposes, we're going to skip right to step 2, the application. Now, I picked IU because they're a little different from other schools. Most schools, your options are either apply with the specific application on the website. So Ball State, for instance, you go to the Ball State website, click on admissions and apply now, or one of the versions of how to apply, and they'll have one option for you. You complete their application on their website. IU has 3 options for you. You can complete, there's an Apply IU application, which allows you to apply to multiple IU campuses throughout the state in one application. You can use something called the Common Application, which we'll talk about here in a little bit in more depth. And then they do something a little unique. They also participate in something called the Coalition Application. Not many schools in Indiana participate in Coalition. Typically, you'll see Common App or their own proprietary application. So we'll look here at the Apply IU app. If you click on Apply IU, you would have to create a guest account, which is true at any college or university, and then follow the steps to complete their application. I mentioned that you also could apply by going to the Common App. So the Common App is a single application you can create and fill out, and then select all the schools where you want to send that application. It's important to understand that the college or university that you want to attend has to choose to participate in Common App. It's totally voluntary. Many schools are choosing to participate because it's just easier for incoming students to fill out one application in one spot. but it's important to understand that it's possible your school might not be listed on here. So if you were to come to the Common App website, which is just Common App, let me show you there, it's commonapp.org. Again, it's also linked through our Canvas course, and you would create an account. When you create your account, you're all first-year students. So everybody will click first-year student. These other three do not apply to you. First-year student, and then you would follow all the steps. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, on our Canvas page, I've already uploaded a very good video on how to create a first-year account, so I don't need to go into detail on that. So again, to recap applying, you'll either go to the college website and fill out their own dedicated application, or you'll use the Common App. Either way, you'll have to set up some kind of account to access the application. So that is step one. And within that step, I want to, before I move on, make sure I mention when it comes to payment, you'll either pay with a credit card, or if you qualify for free or reduced lunch, you can contact me directly and I will get you a waiver. You can, in some instances, waive that application fee, because that can get fairly expensive. It can be $50 and up to apply to a given college. And some schools do waive that application fee, but you just want to be prepared. Step two, you'll need to request a copy of your high school transcript. I am happy to send you a PDF version of your transcript. However, most colleges will not accept a transcript coming directly from a student. It typically has to come directly from the high school to make sure that it is official. And there are a couple ways you can do that. A couple years ago, we transitioned to Naviance to do lots of different things for us. It's kind of a one-stop shop. What I like about Naviance, and the reason I wanted our school to switch to it, is that it streamlines the process for you. If you, for instance, will go into our Naviance account here, and we're going to look for Indiana University. So all you'd have to do is click on the search line, type in Indiana University. It'll bring up all the options for IU. You'll notice next to all these colleges, there's a little heart. And if I click on that heart and I make it red, there we go, and I make it red, and come back to my home page, I can go to the list that says colleges I'm thinking about. It has a red heart. And lo and behold, there's IU Bloomington. I mentioned before that if you didn't want to Google IU Bloomington or any college, you can search for them through Naviance, and if I hover on the name, that's a hyperlink, and it will take me to information about the college as well as a link directly to their website, or I can just, as I mentioned before, you can go through Google. But through Naviance, once I've found the college that I'm interested in, if I click this little box here to the left of it and say move to my application list, then I can click this green box, I can add it to my application list, and it automatically requests transcripts. You can email me and say, hey, Mr. Riedner, can you send my transcript to IU Bloomington? I go in, it's already on your application list. It's literally like 2 or 3 clicks and your transcript is sent. I have already uploaded all senior transcripts to Naviance, so they're ready to go. So you can use, the benefit of using Naviance is you don't have to worry about setting up another account at another website. It's all there for you. It's already streamlined. Now you might find there's some schools that don't want to use Naviance, or maybe they prefer another service. Most other schools in Indiana, if they're not going to accept Naviance, they might direct you to use Parchment. We used to use Parchment all the time here at Shenandoah, but when we transitioned to Naviance, I made a decision not to kind of push this as much. Kids can still use it, but it's just one more website where you have to remember your username and password. But if you do want to use Parchment, then you just come to their website. Again, it's parchment.com, pretty straightforward, and it is also linked from Canvas. And you would click on, let me make sure you can see this here. Got to move my screen up. You would click on Create an Account right there at the top. Create an account, and then you would select learners or parents. The one kind of neat thing about Parchment is parents can create an account on their students' behalf. But you create an account, and then it would give you the option to just fill out this information, or if you have a registration code, you can register that way. I actually emailed all seniors yesterday, their registration code in case you would like to use Parchment. It does streamline the process a little bit because it makes sure when you sign up that you're affiliated with the right high school. It is possible to sign up, and if you could screw up and select a Shenandoah High School that's in Virginia, for instance, and then I would not be able to send transcripts on your behalf. But feel free to use Parchment if you'd like. You'll have to remember your username and password. I don't have access to that. That's one of the reasons I'd rather use Canvas, just because I can't help kids as well. But you are free to sign up through Parchment and send your transcript that way. And you can refer to, again, our Canvas course, and there's also a video on how to order transcripts through Parchment. So that's step 2, sending your transcript. Then in step 3, as I mentioned, to apply to college, step 3 would be to request your test scores from the testing service. So you would either go to the College Board if you took the SAT, or you would go to act.org if you took the ACT. Now, if you remember, last year when I was talking to you as juniors and telling you or advising you to take the SAT or ACT in the spring, one of the things I suggested you consider is when you register for the SAT or ACT to put colleges on your list to receive your scores. If you did that, then as soon as your test scores were released, or when they are released, if you're going to take the test here in the near future, then the test scores automatically are sent electronically to the college or university you're interested in, and then there is no separate step for you to request your scores. If you did not do that, then you would need to come to each website, whichever test you took, sign in, and then request your scores be sent to a college or university. One of the reasons I also encouraged you to request your test scores at the time of registration for the SAT or ACT is then it doesn't cost you any additional money. If you now need to go into your College Board account or your ACT account and request your test scores, typically it's $12.50 a school to send your test scores, which is not a huge deal, but it does kind of add up. So just to recap, guys, when we want to apply, our resources, the resources we need are under Enrollment Resources under the Senior tab in our counseling course within Canvas. We need to fill out a completed application with payment, which we can either do through the college website or we can do through the Common App. Step 2 would be to request a copy of our high school transcript, which cannot come directly from you. And you can request your transcript either through Naviance by adding a college to your colleges I'm applying to list, or you can request your transcript through Parchment. I also failed to mention earlier, if you do apply through the Common App, that actually automatically sends your transcript that way as well. It'll notify me as the counselor to fill out my counselor portion and send your transcript. And then step 3 would be, if necessary, if the school is requiring SAT or ACT scores, if you've not already had those sent, if you didn't indicate that during the time of registering for the SAT or ACT, then there would be a separate third step where you would need to go to your College Board account for the SAT or your ACT account for the ACT to request that your scores be sent directly to the school. Many schools, as I mentioned, are going to test optional, which means that you can send in your test scores if you like, if you think it benefits you, but it's not required. Guys, if you have any specific questions about this process, please do not hesitate to contact me. I am here to help you. We can do a phone call, an individual visit, or we can do a Zoom meeting. Have a great day, guys, and good luck.